Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. Today is going to be the first episode for England Empire or Empire England. Um, Anyways, the point of the name of the series, anyways, is that we want to try and convert England into a world dominating country in FM. Um, and yeah, I mean, and if anyone's wondering about the Aston Villa series that was going on. I did mention in the last episode that there's a possibility that I might not be carrying on with the series, and the reason being was that I did in fact eventually get fired. So what happened was is I played a couple of games. The board came to me; they weren't satisfied with the their position in the league or anything like that, and it was fair to say I was not satisfied either. But anyways, they gave me one last chance. They told me if you can get 10 points from the next 5 games, you're still in with a shout, and we'll let you carry on. Unfortunately, though, that didn't happen. We fell short. My players were really disappointing. It seemed as if like they knew that I was going to get fired, and they decided for me to get fired. Because the performances were just as bad as they've been all season, really. So it was a bit of a disappointing save, but that happens sometimes. You can't always win in FM. And so I'll be starting this series about playing with the England national team, and it'll really be trying to give it our all in the Euros, in the World Cup qualifications, and the World Cup itself, obviously. But yeah, the goal is to dominate the world with England. I'm really excited about this series. I always play with England whenever I get FM. They're one of my first teams whenever I play. Um, I'm not a crazy fan of playing with national teams, but they do give you a different way of playing than club football. But anyways, yeah, let me run quickly through what's been going on, because as you can see here, it's 4th of September. Our first actual competitive game is going to be against Scotland, so that's going to be really interesting. Our rivals. And yeah, I just want to let you run through, because it's been obviously a couple months since I started, but I didn't think you guys would want to see what's going on. Obviously, between each match is months at a time, so there's no need for me to show you every single game, and I'll only be showing you, uh, you know, uh, competitive games, no friendlies, nothing like that. There's only one game to really talk about so far, and that's the 4-2 win against Ukraine in Wembley. Uh, Decent game. I was experimenting with a couple of things. I'll be showing you guys how we played. But yeah, this is the team that first game under my leadership. This is the team I went with, and yeah, Harry Kane grabbing a hat trick for us. So that was a good win. Um, we really dominated every sort of stat. But yeah, let me show you what's been going on. In terms of the staff, I just completely got rid of the entire England the entire England staff once I reached. Whenever I play with England, the staff never seems too great. I decided to get my own assistant manager, goalkeeping coach, all the coaches, physios, managers, all that sort of stuff. I sorted everything out, and as you can see, we've got a nice big team here, from the senior squad to the under-19s. I've sorted it all out. And yeah, I'm really excited about working with Terry McDormand as well, because he's a great assistant manager. He's got all the crucial stats that they mention that you need for an assistant manager, but he's also got great tactical knowledge in with 15. So he's a great assistant manager to have. I recommend you definitely picking him up. He's got 25 caps on the national team as well. Perfect, really perfect to have. Whenever I search for staff, I always decide to include the international caps, to have at least that one, because that sort of international experience is crucial. It rubs off on the players. I also set nationality to English, but sometimes obviously take that off, as well as international caps, because you can't, not a single physio in the game is going to have an international cap, in my experience anyways. And you can see here just immediately goes, even with partially physio set. Out of the 425 physios available, not a single one with an international cap. So yeah, so I just sorted out the staff there, even the responsibilities. I just basically let Terry handle most of the stuff, opposition instructions, because he's got great tactical knowledge. He's also the one that's scouting, our next opposition, so it makes sense to set him on that. He handles all the press conferences and tunnel interviews. I never liked doing that anyways. And yeah, and I also let him arrange the friendly matches, because I don't see them as a big deal. Just let him sort them out. I'll play them, but let him sort them out. In terms of the B team, you never really play with the B team when it's a national, thing. So I just set myself as it. Um, and yeah, under 21s and under 19s, I got some decent managers as well. I take off the played matches with first team tactics because it makes more sense for him to decide what sort of tactics they need to play with. And, my tactics not the be all end all. So really, all I want is just quality youngsters coming through. That's what's more important. It doesn't really matter about first team tactics. All that matters is, good youngsters come through to the squad. And let me see what else I could show you. In terms of competitions, there's only the World Cup European qualifying section that we've got. And we're playing against Lithuania, Malta, Scotland, Slovakia, and Slovenia. And there's only like one automatic qualifying spot. I think second gets something else. Results between teams in top 5 positions are used to sort teams in the second place teams table. Yeah, exactly. So second teams table, and depending on where you end in the second place team as well, it is crucial as well. So yeah, let's see what else I could update you on. Yeah, let me show you quickly the how I judge, national scouting, national pool, sorry, and how I scout and all those sorts of things. So normally what I would do is anyone who's got up to a fairly good rating would be included in our national pool. So I'll just, if you just do that, quickly add to national pool. First thing I did as soon as I came here, just cleared out the entire pool. I just want to, make it easier for myself, sort out my own national pool rather than what was giving to me. And anyone under fairly good may come into the side, but just keep them, because anything under the fairly good is just decent. You don't want decent players representing your country. You want fairly good and above. In truth, you want good and above, but sometimes if someone's get injured, you're going to need the fairly goods. And if they play well enough, you might as well include them in your squad. It's not all about ability, but generally, as a rule of thumb, fairly good is my judge. And as you can see here, it's a decent judge because the decent players, there's no one really a standout player here. But yeah, that's what I normally do. In terms of assignments, I have my assistant manager, always scouting the next opposition, even though there's no match training, it's to sort out. But if he's the one who scouts the opposition team, then he knows who, who to instruct us on in the opposition tactics sort of instructions. Who to mark tightly, who to close down, who to show onto their weaker foots and stuff. So Terry's there, and then I've obviously got 2 people scouting the Premier Division for me. One just for the Championship. Sometimes I give Championship players, a chance. I'm not like in real life how they only say only players in the Premier Division, deserve to play for the national team. And in truth, there's a couple of decent English players in the Championship, especially with all the foreign players in the Premier Division nowadays. It makes sense to just have an eye on the Sky Bet Championship competition. And then I have someone keeping an eye out on the youngsters in the under 23s and the under 18s, and that's pretty much all I got set. In terms of who I got, scouting, they're obviously all the coaches and my staff. So the reason is when you're managing a national team, you need to make sure that your coaches have decent, judging ability and potential. So I haven't got a single coach here who's under 12 in either category, and that's how I judge. I make sure the players got, the staff has got, all the attributes that needed to be a good coach, and then also the judging ability and judging potential. Just because they're the ones that scout for you. You don't have a scouting team when it comes to managing a national side. But yeah, that's just really my opinion. And what I did was I went onto the national pool. I found out who all the best players in our squad. Tried to see where I can fit them in, and what I came up with is as a rule of thumb, we have to always play a back 4 and a front 2. It seems like England's strength is that we've got a decent back 4, good full backs. When we don't really have the option to play 3 in the back or anything like that because we don't have crazy good centre backs. Some decent ones, but not good enough to sort of play as a back 3. Not enough quality in depth, and then we have to play with 2 strikers just because of the quality in depth of how many great strikers we have. So it makes sense to play 4-4-2. So I've went with 3 different 4-2 formations. I generally always stick with just one formation and then, change the mentalities. But I decided this time to experiment a little bit. Do 3-4-4-2 formation. So we got the 4-4-2 diamond here, the 4-4-2 flat, and the 4-2-4 wide when we want to push on and win a game. So I've got the 4-4-2, 4-2-4 wide on the attacking mentality just because of how much of an attacking formation it is. And then I've got the 4-4-2 set on counter. Both of these will have the tempo at a higher tempo and more direct passing as well as roaming from positions. And that's just because of the type of formation they are. It makes sense to play more direct, doesn't make sense to hold on to possession. But the 4-4-2 diamond is a different type of formation. It makes sense that if you have your, the players all close together, it makes sense not to play directly, but instead to control the game, to control possession. So I've got those instructions set on, really basic stuff, shorter passing, lower tempo, and roam from positions as well. And so yeah, that's basically. I keep the team instructions really simple. Joe Hart's just going to play as a standard goalkeeper. Rose and Walker are going to have to run up and down the pitch. So I got them on wing backs attack. They've got no one out wide here, so it makes sense. Dyer is going to be an anchor in our defensive mid formation. Henderson's just going to play in his preferred box to box role. Dele Alli is going to play as an advanced playmaker attack from a deeper position rather than playing over here. And Alana's just going to play as a trequartista. Sorry, that's a bit difficult to say. But anyways, all his job is just to not defend at all. We've got our two defensive sort of players here. Henderson's going to go up and down, and Dyer's holding it down with Chris Smalling and Cahill. And what do you call it? So I just want Lallana to cruise, really, not defend at all, and just cruise around looking for pockets of space. Made sense for me to play him as a trequartista. I did try and Engash role earlier, but it didn't really seem to work. He just barely moved. What you want from an attacking midfielder in this sort of formation is to move a lot. So he moves into the channels, he roams from positions, he doesn't defend much, and that's exactly what I need. I don't want him to defend at all. And so I've got Kane on a deep lying forward support role and Vardy as an advanced forward attack. Vardy's a great poacher, but I just want a little bit more from him, and he can do a bit more. It makes sense. A poacher's more suited to direct sort of play. So if I play an advanced forward, rather, it makes a bit more sense than playing a poacher who doesn't contribute to the short passing sort of play that we want. That's another reason why I didn't play Harry Kane as a target man on support. While he can do this role, as well as an advanced forward role, it makes more sense for me to play him as a deep lying forward and support. Complete forward support also works too, but I feel like it lowers some of his stats, like some of his 12 start appearing out of here and there, and it forces him to use a lot of his acceleration, and he's not got too much of that. He's decent, obviously, but not too much. So it made more sense for me to play him as deep lying support role. He's doing great there. Scored a hat-trick in the last game. Obviously, it's only been one game, but I've seen enough from him to know that he can do the job for sure. And yeah, that's why I'm playing. It also doesn't make sense for me to play as a target man support when I'm playing a short sort of style, short possession play. Doesn't make sense. If you play a target man, your players are just going to knock the ball forward to him. So yeah, into today's game against Scotland, we're going to be trying out the 4-4-2 diamond formation again. We're going to see how it goes. In terms of who's going to start today, same team as against Ukraine. We're gonna have Joe Hart in goal here. He's played, just one league game in Torino, but obviously they haven't played any more than that. If I can show you here, I think it says, yeah, just one game possible. So he did play the one game. Actually, that's for England. Sorry, in Torino. There you go. It was only one game that's possible. Now it was against Hull, so that was clearly a friendly as well. I don't think the Serie A has really, kicked off just yet. We're gonna have Kyle Walker in the right back spot. He's gonna be playing against Klein for the position. He's made 3 appearances, average rating of 7.43 in the Premier League, so great so far. There's only been 3 games played in the Premier League anyways. Danny Rose is going to be his opposite fullback on wing-back attack. These players are clearly capable of crossing and dribbling. They've got great acceleration and pace as well. So it really, makes sense to fully take advantage of England's great fullbacks. I mean, these are just crazy stats, really. We're going to be playing with Smalling and Cahill in the centre-back positions. I do love John Stones, but unfortunately, at the time when I was picking the team, they haven't played the European Champions Cup yet. So only had, I think, 2 appearances and a really bad rating of 6.7. So it made sense for me to play Smalling ahead of him. It seems like he's, actually, sorry, not Smalling. It was Cahill who was going to play ahead of him. They are rated the same ability. Sorry, I can't actually show you that. I guess over here it says a quality player for England, good rating. And Cahill's on the same sort of good rating as well, 3 stars there. But John Stones is definitely going to improve. So for now, it's just going to be Cahill for now, but it can definitely change. We're going to play with Eric Dyer as our anchor man here. Perfect man for it. He can also slot in centre defence if you need him. I'm not really going to be playing him as a centre mid because, I guess he could play the box-to-box formation, but box-to-box midfielder, sorry. But I think off the ball is essential when you play box-to-box midfielder, and he doesn't have much of it. So I think I'll just stick to playing him in defensive mid or centre-back, depending on where we need him. Jordan Henderson's going to play as a box-to-box, and Dele Alli as well. Both great players, perfect combination. Jordan Henderson's our vice-captain, and Rooney, who's on the bench first, is going to be our main captain. Lallana's going to play as a Trey cross, let's just call it Trey. He's going to play as Trey in the attacking midfielder position. He's more than capable of playing there. I know he's more comfortable as an advanced playmaker, but he's good as a Trey as well. So that leaves us with a perfect partnership of Harry Kane and Jamie Vardy up front. Now, what I expect from these two is just goals, goals, and more goals. Some would argue that playing Kane as a deep lying forward would mean that he doesn't score as much, but just as you guys saw in the last game, he got a hat-trick from playing that sort of role, and scored more than his partner, who's meant to, as an advanced forward, he's meant to get more goals. But yeah, and then on the bench we just got the rest of the players, Ben Foster, Klein, you guys can see it for yourselves. I've also called up Johnny Howson, who's the only championship player in the team, but he's got 3 stars. He's been playing really well for Norwich as well. And I really did want to pick someone else, but unfortunately no one else has performed. Premier League players not performing, so there's no reason to not pick him just because he's in the Championship. And as the season goes on, there'll be other players who will step up. So I just give him a friendly cap. Doubt I'll really be playing him further on, but we'll see. Anyways, let's get into today's game against Scotland, our rivals. We need the 3 points. We need the first position no matter what. Some tough teams in here. Obviously, Malta are going to be the whipping boys of the group. They're 179th in the ranking, FIFA rankings. Lithuania will probably be a bit easy to beat as well, 125th. But really, it's these 3 that I have to look out for. We should be winning over them, of course, but really, you can't judge in that sort of manner. Whenever I play them, they're always tricky nations to play against. But yeah, we made the favourites for this game, and we really should be expecting to be favourites. Here you go, you can see Terry doing his business. He scouted them, he knows them, he's telling us what to do. And let's see if my players can step up to the occasion and get us the win that we need. I'm going to tell them that that's exactly what we need. We should be winning this sort of game. We should be expected to win no matter what. Team morale not so well now. I feel like for some reason, as soon as I came in, the morale was abysmal. They were really upset, all of them, for some strange reason. Probably upset to lose Sam Allardyce, I guess. But yeah, we're just going to keep the highlights at key. Camera on 2D Classic. Let me just change the replays quickly to goals. And we'll replay it on close as well. If you guys got any suggestions or anything like that, just let me know. But we'll get into today's game. Scotland playing with a 4-2-3-1, as you can see here. And yeah, we're bringing the ball forward here with Vardy. Let's see if we can get an early goal here. Henderson plays it out wide to Walker, but a bit too ahead of him. I don't know what sort of pace he expected our fullback to have. But that highlight didn't amount to much. It's strange how we've just automatically started with a horrible rating all round from 6.7. So I don't remember seeing this sort of thing before. But anyways, 15 minutes have gone now. Nothing really going on, I guess. Let me have a quick look at the match stats. We've had the majority shots, possessions, even a 1/2 chance, but nothing came of it. But yeah, Walker giving the ball to Henderson there. Lallana got it. He plays that back to Walker. Can he find the man in the box? No, he cannot. Instead, he can find the Scotland goalkeeper, Marshall. And he just plays it straight to his centre-back. And hopefully we can press on a bit here. Rose has got the ball now. Plays it to Dele Alli. Playing in his advanced playmaker position. Preferred role. Finds Vardy. Vardy cannot find the goal. He loses out the ball. But that's exactly why we're playing Dele Alli in that position. He's a deeper, advanced playmaker. exactly where he's, really deadly from. He can run at his man. He's comfortable playing there, and he just played a pass that, to be honest, even I didn't really see. Unfortunately, Vardy couldn't make the most of that. And it looks like Scotland are going to have a chance of it, but instead we win the ball back. Kane finds Vardy. Vardy's running through. Can he score? He can. Of course he can. And that's exactly why we're playing him in an advanced forward role, because he's got the pace for it. He's got, the finishing for it. He is the perfect advanced forward. In truth, he's a perfect poacher, but he's going to be playing as an advanced forward first, and he's more than capable of doing that. He's got good passing. He's got good vision as well. Both good ratings for around 12 or 13 attributes. So he great goal, good start to our my competitive debut, and we just have to keep it up. But Scotland are going to have a chance here to try and score before half time, and they almost find Snodgrass, but Smalling there doing well, clearing the ball up, and now the ball is back with Scotland. We win it back through Dyer, however, who's really the perfect anchorman. I'm really happy to play him there all the time. I feel like there's definitely time to experiment with other players, and Smalling's given away a penalty there. Incredible. And Dyer's just picked up a booking, even though it had nothing to do with it, just because he's insulted the referee. Scotland have a lifeline though here, and they can score just before half time. Let's see if Joe Hart can save it. And he definitely can't. That's Naismith in the bottom corner. And Scotland have got on their equaliser. It's 1-1 now. And yeah, I'm really expecting more from these players. We should be expecting a 3-0 win, but instead it's 1-1 as we go into half time. Let's see if my players can respond quickly before it. But not too pleasant. Anyways, I'm really happy with playing with this sort of team. It does seem to be the best England team other than Kale. Not Rose. Sorry, I'm thinking about John Stones. John Stones should definitely be alongside Smalling. But really, it depends on form. It depends on ability. I'm going to do exactly what my assistant tells me here and just tell the players off. I'm going to tell them I'm not happy at all. They're fired up. They're motivated. Let's see if they can change it around in the second half. I'm not happy at all with. The performance wasn't bad, but I'm not happy at all with these yellow cards. I don't like these early yellow cards. I mean, Vardy's a striker, so it's unlikely you get another yellow card. But for Dyer to get a yellow card and he's the holding anchor man is not pleasing at all. More than likely of getting a second yellow card. Walker doing well there to win the ball instantly from half time, and he's going to bring it forward. It looks like he's being doubled up against in this 4-2-3-1 formation Scotland are playing. And we're getting close to the 60th minute mark now, with not a highlight to show. 2 clear-cut chances, 2 half chances, and yet we're just 1-1. They had 1 clear-cut chance, which was a penalty as well. They didn't even create the clear-cut chance. I mean, I guess they created it. They created the situation, but it's more about Smalling being an idiot. He's got a 6.0 rating. And I'm going to have to make some changes here. Walker's tired. Even Rose is tired. Look at all these, the players are incredibly tired here. A number of them. But I need to make some attacking changes, which is an issue. Kane having a bit of a quiet game. He did get the assist, but since then not really kicked on. But mainly it's Lallana who's going to be coming off. Really not playing well in the tray role, I guess. Maybe it's not suited to him, but we're going to bring on... I think I'll bring on Rooney for him. Let's see if the captain can help us out here. I know Rooney should be okay in the tray role. I haven't really checked out his attributes, but he should be okay. He's a bit of an all-rounder, as you can see here. There's just a couple of weaknesses. But let's see if he can help us out here. And what I'll do is I'll also take off Eric Dyer just because of his yellow card. Maybe... I think I'll just keep it as is for now. Save my last substitute for whoever's, really dying out towards the end. Let's see if Rooney can have the effect that I need. I mean, the second substitute that I use, Jack Cork, really can't expect him to do much as a defensive midfielder. He's just going to hold it down first and not... And there we go. England are always an incredible set-piece side, really. Always scoring set-piece goals whenever I play with them in this FM as well as the former FMs. We got another one here from Kale, Smalling. Well, I guess it wasn't Smalling at all. I mean, I saw it was an own goal, but I thought Smalling had some effect on it. Apparently not. He was just there, making the defenders a bit uneasy. And Dele Alli just grabbing our third goal now, so it's getting a bit comfortable. And it looks like bringing on Rooney maybe didn't directly help, but possibly the players saw the captain coming onto the field and it inspired them to go on and win the game. It's 3-1 now. Maybe it's a bit too early to say we're going to win it, but I feel comfortable. I feel like, Scotland aren't going to threaten that much. Even if they score another one, I don't expect them to score 2 against us. We really should be winning it now. We're coming to the 70th minute. A lot of the players are, actually not a lot, just 2 of them are in their 60s. And those are the ones that are expected to run up and down, which are the fullbacks. So I think I'll take one of them off. And since Walker's on a yellow, I'll be taking him off for Klein. And we'll see what Klein can bring to the game. I only picked Walker based on recent form, but Klein has a real, chance to win me over, basically, because Walker doesn't have that fullback spot on lock at all. The fullback positions are very open. Danny Rose, Klein, Walker, Shaw, very capable of rotating that fullback position with ease, just because of how many options we've got, really. We've got several options, and they're all really good options as well. That no one's really holding that position down by any means. But yeah, Scotland have got the ball now, and it looked like they were going to bring, maybe score a second, but we've got the ball. Cork finds Rose. Can he find the man in the box? He finds Henderson outside of it. Delhi back to Rose. And Rose finds Vardy at the near post, who does no mistake to tuck it home. And that's an easy 4-1 win. I talked earlier about having, winning by 3-0. We still got the 3-goal lead, but it's not 3-0, instead it's 4-1. And considering we conceded only from a penalty, it's not, too bad. But I was hoping for a clean sheet as well. As long as we have the goal difference, it really doesn't matter how many we concede. What matters is how many you score. And we've scored 4 here. But Scotland have won the ball back. They're bringing it forward now. However, we won it and then lose it straight away. A bit strange, that bit of play there. We should be playing on a shorter passing, so I'm not sure why our player tried to find Vardy straight away. But anyway, Scotland still have the ball forward here. They're trying to find something, but Klein wins it back. Kane finds Rooney. Can Rooney find Vardy? Instead, he just runs at his man, runs, and he finds finally Vardy at the end. And Vardy makes no mistake to poke it home. And that's exactly what I expect from Vardy. Poacher's goal, but he's playing as an advanced forward. He just keeps running. He's just holding his run. And he times it not perfectly, but perfectly. As Kane was a bit offside there, and Rooney did great playing as a trequartista to find Vardy. It was a great ball. Kane's got it now. Can we score a 6th goal? In the dying moments of the game, we're playing some neat play there. Kane's having an incredible shot there, but it's come off the post. And Scotland sticking to their 4-2-3-1, but we've definitely outplayed them. We've got 4 clear-cut chances, 5 half chances, and it looks like this formation and the roles that we're playing in really suit the team, so I might stick with it for a bit. If not, we've got the backups of the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-4. It really depends on who's available and who's playing well. When I was selecting the players for this game, the players that were performing were, the defensive midfielders, the centre mids, the attacking midfielders. So it made sense to play a 4-4-2 diamond. But sometimes the wingers are going to be performing well, such as, Walcott, Sterling, or, the wingers that England have got. And if they start performing well, we might have to switch to a 4-4-2. But yeah, overall, great 5-1 win. It's 2 wins in a row now. We just have to keep it up. We're going to have 3 more games before the end of the year. In terms of when I'm going to be back, because of how short these the seasons are in terms of international duty, I'm going to be doing sort of sometimes it'll be some double headers, but really the games that I'll be showing will be the tournaments, not really the qualifiers. We should be expected to always qualify for the tournaments. What should be expected is the tournaments. So I've showed you the first game here. I'll probably show you let's say the 5th game, possibly. We all have to play each other twice. There's 10 games in total. So if I show you the 5th game in the next episode, and maybe the last game in the episode after that, then we can show you the World Cup competition after that. So, you know, should be decent. Top scorer so far is Jamie Vardy, and it's a good start under my reign. And yeah, that'll be all for today. Thanks, guys. As always, if you like the video, you know, if you enjoyed watching it, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. If you got any thoughts on, you know, tactics, advice, tips, anything like that, or even if you just, you know, just want to leave a comment to say you enjoying this or anything like that, that'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, thanks, guys.